first visited Daikoku Parking Area in the autumn of 1993. I was a fresh arrival to Japan, and needless to say, my mind was absolutely blown away by what I saw. It was very much the era of wangan racing, and the place was filled with modified cars of all sorts. It sort of sparked off an obsession with the whole Japanese car culture that in later years led me to start a career covering it and documenting it. With 341 spots, Daikoku Parking Area is the biggest rest stop in the Tokyo-Yokohama metropolitan area. It was opened in 1989, and it's been the go-to meet spot for car enthusiasts for 35 years. Conveniently located right underneath the Yokohama Bay Bridge along the infamous Wangan, it's easily reachable from Tokyo and surrounding areas, making it the perfect meeting spot for car guys in the Kanto area.
Which brings us to today. Daikoku PA has become the meeting spot in the Tokyo-Yokohama area for guys to come and gather, be it night or day, like this morning here on a Sunday morning. Especially when the weather's this great, a lot of cars start coming out, and it's all about variety. Supercars, classic cars, European cars, American cars. We have everything represented here. And it's exactly what makes Daikoku Parking Area so special, no matter where you come. It's basically the representation of Japanese tuning culture, car culture, and just the enthusiasm around cars in general. It's what brings people together, and it's one of the very few spots left in Tokyo where you're kind of left to enjoy your passion for cars.
So this easy accessibility and the fact that Daikoku Parking Area is always open makes it the perfect venue for people to meet. It doesn't really matter what you're into. All niches are pretty much catered for. Every ramification of Japanese car culture is beautifully represented anytime you go to Daikoku Parking Area. And it's pretty much heaven for somebody like me that, has been covering Japanese car culture for so many years.
And here's another really cool niche that sometimes you are lucky to see here at Daikoku: Sentries. We have Nagahama-san from N-Star that came down from Gunma today with his V12 Sentry on work wheels and air suspension, and he's brought a couple of friends with him. This white one is actually stock still, but this one here, owned by a member of a famous Bosozoku team, is sitting again on work wheels. This one even has the 12 number plate. It's just crazy to see how a V12 limousine has been kind of brought in to the aftermarket tuning scene here in Japan. These are very rare still, of course, because, well, they're very expensive. Oh yeah. Whoa. That's cool.
It is also the perfect venue for pretty much spotting the rarest cars in Japan. If you own something unique, something rare, something that's hard to see on the streets or in around the city, you bring it to Daikoku Parking Area, people will see it, will enjoy it, and you'll probably get it shot or videoed. So it really does bring out the best of the best from the surrounding cities and, even the countryside towns, because you really do get to see cars from all over, Kanto area, sometimes even further than that.
And, specifically what really attracts myself, and I'm sure everybody else, is the fact that, you can come here on any given day and it's basically a car show. What you find at Daikoku sometimes you just cannot even find at car shows. For example, this morning we have a couple of Hakosukas here, we have a Hachiroko down there, and an old Toreno here next to a Fairlady Datsun 2000, and you're surrounded by equal variety. No matter where you look, it's just there for you to see, but most importantly to hear, and it's what really makes this space so cool. You have two boxy cars here, one from Japan, one from Germany, BMW 2002 in all its glory, stock wheels, parked up next to a 280Z on Watanabe's, an R34 GTR running Z-Tune aero kit, Mines sticker on the bonnet, right next to an Aventador SV and a Sierra Cosworth. And if we keep going, it just gets more interesting. R32 GTR, RCF, and that is just one line of this morning here at Daikoku Parking Area.
And so, without surprise, it is pretty much the most recognized meeting spot when it comes to kind of global car culture. Mainstream media has given Daikoku Parking Area so much attention. I'm partly to blame, of course. I've been covering meets at Daikoku for the best part of 20 years. And, it's synonymous with Japanese car culture and the crazy cars that, we portray as being part of Japan. And, it's kind of synonymous with movies like Fast and Furious. And it just basically represents the best of the best that Japan has to offer.
And the craziest thing is, it just keeps growing. It just gets bigger and bigger every year, to the point that I'm almost scared that we're going to lose this. And I say that because there's been so much talk and publicity online of people coming over to Japan, jumping the walls and trying to get into Daikoku without proper access with cars. Of course, this is a highway rest stop. You cannot jump the wall and, create issues with the local police. It's gotten bigger. But at the same time, there's always that possibility of, something happening that ruins it for everybody. And as I say this, I spotted this beautiful 964 RWB smooth fender with turbo wing. That is personally my favorite look when it comes to RWB. And what makes Daikoku so special is that it's always the meeting spot for car clubs. Every time you come here, you see a bunch of cars lined up together. Today, as a perfect example, we have some sort of Z Club. I could emphasize how amazing the turnouts are here at Daikoku, but I'll just show you. I mean, a 365 BB followed by a Lancia Stratos.
Without a doubt, the coolest thing about Daikoku Parking Area is the ability that it has to kind of shift. You get old-timers on a Sunday morning coming with their classics. You may get the supercar clubs and, exotics coming in alongside hot rods and lowriders. And that kind of shifts as, day turns into night. You get the more JDM focus crowds, basically representing the tuning scene. You get really late into the night, you get the drifters and the racers coming there to kind of use Daikoku Parking Area as a rest stop for their somewhat illegal activities.
And Daikoku has actually become so big that it started attracting people that are not really necessarily into cars, but they're just probably visiting Japan. They've heard of it, they've seen it online, so they drop by and kind of check out what the culture is, because it's become part of Japanese culture. This is what, Japanese car enthusiasts do, and it's the perfect venue to come and see another angle of Japan. And from one early 90s gem, we move on to a mid-80s icon, the Ferrari Testarossa. This perfectly emphasizes how all you have to do is come to Daikoku and you literally learn about cars, because you see them and hear them physically in front of you. It's kind of like going through an old car book at the local library, if people actually still do that. But here, the cars are right there in front of you to kind of see and hear and smell. As another perfect example of Daikoku being the meeting spot to come in the Tokyo Bay area, check out this little Honda Beat gathering, which has kind of allowed maybe the Honda S660 as well in for a little bit of a Sunday morning cruise. Literally everywhere. This one's even running the rare Mugen wheels.
It's as if Daikoku has turned into a bit of a tourist destination, with keen enthusiasts visiting from abroad, signing up to makeshift tours offered by the local community that has kind of caught on to the whole popularity of the venue. There have been countless instances of tourists taking taxis to the PA and then getting stuck there after hours, with the only resort of reaching out to the local police. Or even worse, people climbing the walls onto the PA, something that even made it into Japanese news.
And this is probably how you guys know Daikoku. Of course, Daikoku at night is when it really hits hard. It's been the place to meet here all the way from the late 80s into the 90s. For me at least, this place really does hold a very special place in my heart. It was literally this exact spot that really kicked that love for JDM off for me. The first time I came here, I was very young. It was back in 1993, believe it or not, and it was still the old Daikoku Parking Area. The layout was a little bit different. It was before the rebuild, before the refresh, and that's when the one-gun racer guys used to come here meet. It was like a pit stop after a long stretch of highway all the way from Chiba, and it's where the legends were born. It's where all those meetings happened, and to this day, it's not really as illegal as it used to be. There's no illegal racing happening so much in these days, and it's just become a cool place to hang out. And up until now, the police has been pretty tolerable. There's actually a police station here inside Daikoku Parking Area, and that's why when things get a little bit louder, a little bit too high energy, let's put it, they intervene straight away and start locking down the entrances and basically getting people kicked out.
One important factor that we shouldn't forget is the Daikoku Parking Area is also a big truck spot. On top of the 341 car spaces, there are 59 truck spots, and of course these are pretty much all filled up at night when these car meetings do happen. So the last thing a truck driver wants when he's trying to take a nap and get some rest is for a loud modified car to be parking next to it. And the first thing he would do is basically call the police and report the noise. And with the police station being located inside Daikoku Parking, as you can imagine, response is going to be pretty much immediate.
I think compared to the older days, the vans with all the speaker systems is definitely a scene that I've seen disappear here at Daikoku. They used to kind of run in parallel with the car meets that went down here pretty much every day, but because of the noise that they created, they have literally faded away over the years, which makes sense. The police is trying to keep things quiet and calm, so they were the first to go. Luckily, we still do get the Bosozoku gangs that drop by every once in a while. Usually, you're probably more likely to see them on a weekend, like a Sunday morning if it's a nice day, or big holidays, first few days of the year. They always want to come here, make a scene, and basically have a bit of fun like everybody else. So Daikoku really does mix a bit of everything. And of course, another special thing about Daikoku is that of course it really does bring cultures together. Over the last few years, as I call it, car tourism has kind of evolved into what it is today. You get literal tours coming to Daikoku, vans filled up with tourists that want to check out the car scene because they've seen it either on YouTube or on the web. And there's always a mix of people that come here to meet, all connected with one thing, basically with the passion for cars. So it really does bring car people together, from across the world as well. So as we walk towards the Konbini, here is the police station. These guys are always ready to go. If anything goes down that they don't like here at Daikoku, they'll be out in literally 1 minute and have announcements throughout the whole car park with speakers. So, if they want to tell you something like go home, they'll definitely make themselves heard. And I'd like to summarize that, we are so lucky as car people, car guys and girls in the Tokyo and Yokohama area, all the international community, all the Japanese guys. We're so lucky to have a place like Daikoku Parking Area. So, let's keep it that way. Let's not upset with the balance of things and just keep on enjoying what it has given us as, members of car culture, global car culture, Japanese car culture, and enjoy it for years to come. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you check back soon for more.